I got something important wrong. I got something important really wrong. I didn't understand that back then, the full impact that stops were having on the Black and Latino communities. I was totally focused on saving lives, but as we know, good intentions aren't good enough.
So that is an insulting statement. That is insulting to our intelligence. It's gaslighting. It's pretending history does not exist. In fact, it's so insulting that current mayor Bill de Blasio, who doesn't tend to pick his political moments correctly or do the right thing in the political moments, absolutely nailed his response to this complete rewriting of history.
Stop-and-Frisk was discredited years and years ago. I respect my colleague Steve Benjamin a lot, but let's be clear. Years ago in this city, beginning of this decade, there were many of us saying this was broken, it wasn't working, it was discriminatory, it was harming families, it was holding us back. Michael Bloomberg wouldn't listen.
Exactly, and de Blasio campaigned against Stop-and-Frisk, which was part of the reason he won. It was so unpopular in the city. I mean, Bloomberg was defending this policy as recently as January of this year. Bloomberg's sermon was the first time he'd publicly expressed any such remorse, though, even defending the policy as recently as January of this year. The difference now is that he's considering jumping into the crowded pool of Democratic presidential candidates, although Bloomberg hasn't formally announced a bid. Bloomberg defended the stop-and-frisk policy throughout his 12-year tenure as mayor, and then long after he left office in 2013. Leading into Bloomberg's Apology Sunday, he defended his administration's successes in reducing violent crime. However, data shows that the policy recovered few guns, and there's no evidence that stop-and-frisk led to a reduction in violent crime, as other cities saw their crime rates drop without the policy too. So for everyone who doesn't know, this policy allowed cops to just stop anyone they felt was dodgy and search them. So it's really Orwellian and racist. Just how racist was this ineffective policy that did not reduce crime that Mayor Bloomberg bullishly defended until he decided to run for president, probably in a Democratic primary after being a Republican most of his life? Just how racist was it? During the mayor's 12-year tenure, police department data showed that officers made more than 5 million stops, a quarter of them of young Black men who made up just 1.9% of the city's population. And it was not only that, it was literally declared unconstitutional by a district court, because you know what the Constitution says? You need a warrant to search somebody. Pretty basic. And that's been reaffirmed over and over again by case law. But Bloomberg, who really is a nanny state leader and wants to be in your homes and telling you what kind of sodas you can and can't drink, he disagreed. So just a few more statistics on the racism of the policy just to hammer it home and how Bloomberg still defended it. In 2019, Black and Latino people in New York were 9 times more likely to be stopped by the police compared to white residents. And this is Bloomberg defending it. Look at what's happened in Boston, Mr. Bloomberg said in 2013. Remember what happened here on 9/11. Remember all of those who've been killed by gun violence and the families they left behind. Fear-mongering about terrorism to take your rights away, specifically if you're Black or brown, with racist policies. So is this a Democratic primary or a Republican one?